So knowledge management, if we're talking about our application, it's the application that basically it's part of our core offering, and all of our applications interact with it in some way or another. Our knowledge management applications allows you to actually make it a part of every single process. So then knowledge management isn't separate from something that you do, like with problem management or incident management. You can actually integrate it with everything that we do. Knowledge can help with the incident process in several ways. One of the ways is that you can actually start making self-service available, and it can really make it easier for your customers to help themselves or your users. That helps a lot because then your service desk can actually focus on the issues that are real issues and not the things that people could resolve for themselves. Additionally, you can have some of those second or third tier level support provide knowledge-based articles for that front line, so then they can resolve things without having to pass it up, and that can really reduce your cost of support. So there are a lot of really great KPIs to consider. The main thing to think about when you're thinking about KPIs for knowledge or anything like that is making sure that you're not selecting KPIs that can be easily gamed. I know we already talked about gaming. In some ways it's good, but this way it's not. The things that you need to be looking at are a lot of things that we include with our baseline functionality and what we're shipping to you. And that's the things like how often are the articles used? Who are your best authors that are actually giving you stuff that people are going to use? Things like that. Honestly, with our baseline configuration, there shouldn't be many more KPIs that you would even need to configure because we configure those for you. So internally, it's fantastic because you can help your internal users. Honestly, one of the ways that I really think is fantastic is that knowledge management really allows you to provide consistent answers to a lot of the frequent questions. So if you don't have any sort of central place for your frontline support or your users to go to look for answers, you could call one person and they say, oh, this is how you do something, call someone else, and it's a completely different story. So knowledge management and having those articles really helps provide those consistent answers because everybody's looking in the same place and they're always going to give that same answer every time. It really reduces that confusion for your users. And when you're bringing someone on, you can just point them to the knowledge base. Instead of having to go through a ton of training and teaching them how things are done, you can say, here's the knowledge base. Anything you have questions about, you can look it in there and you're going to find it. So there's a couple different ways that you can talk about knowledge templates. One of them is for the people who are creating knowledge. The people who are, if you have a knowledge template, so say for instance a policy template, then you can make sure that certain fields are always included. Certain information is always included and it's always in the same order. So perhaps a summary, and then you go into the different reasons why you have this policy or anything like that. A support article, you could start with a description of the issue, the environment, and then go into the solution. Every single time it's the same way. It makes it easy for the person who's writing the article, makes it easy for someone who, in support, who's using the article. They know exactly where to look for the information that they need, and same with the end users. You're providing that consistency so they know where to look for what they need to find. As the core, okay, maybe not the core, it's not necessarily required for everything, but I think it enhances all of the other processes. I don't see knowledge management as separate necessarily from the other processes. It's an integrated part of every one of our other processes. Knowledge should be used and harvested, updated with every process that we have. Everything you do, you can provide that information. You did something, put that information in there, it's available for someone else in the future.